Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another Open L Studios live stream. I am excited to join you here on August 23rd. It's great. I just posted a blog post on our Patreon blog titled "The Storyfold System," and then there's a question: what stories do you want told? So, talking about this game, Storyfold. What a Well, first of all, what a beautiful game. Beautiful box. We have intentionally designed it to look like a book. You can even see on the spine just an incredible. Oh, sorry, my spine is upside down. Incredible Storyfold spine. And I'm really excited to dive into the Storyfold system itself and to explain a little bit more about potential future for this game, how we see it growing. But before that, a quick update on all things Open Owl. First, our Mythwind reprint and Friends and Family campaign reached an exciting milestone. Yesterday, we sent in all of the files to the printer. A couple things. So we already sent a lot of the files to the printer, but these are the revised files for everything except the Friends and Family and new stuff. So that means we are finalized on that and good to go. Our hope is to start manufacturing on the core box pretty soon here. We also sent them the final files for Friends and Family. They're going to print up a sample, send it to Nathan. Nathan's going to get it, review it. We'll make any changes, and then we'll go from there. So very exciting. Progress is being made with Mythwind Stars. We continue to go forward, just back and forth with the factory on a handful of things. They're manufacturing, a lot of the plastic components right now. We are tweaking, just doing a couple final edits on the graphic design of the rulebook and the scenario book. Most of those are finished. We're just reviewing them before sending them back off to the printers. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of exciting things. But I want to get into our next campaign that we're gearing up for, and that is Storyfold Wildwoods. Really excited about this project for a number of reasons. One, the game designed by Shord, and if you haven't, go back in our live stream a couple of times ago, and you'll see the podcast that we have with the designer, a Dutch designer who has a lot of good things to bring to the table when it comes to the Wildwoods design. And the gameplay is fantastic. We have a group of like 20 testers right now in our alpha, and I'm just looking through it. The every time they do a test, they do a they do a progress update, and people are really loving the game itself, and it's special for a couple of things. First thing is that this game doesn't have at least in our TTS, it will in the final version, doesn't have a rule book. So all these people are learning to play based off the prologue. But then at the same time there's enough depth to the game. So we onboard people into it, but there's enough depth in the game that they're actually like sharing strategies in the chat and discussing like best way to get through these different challenges. And it's tricky. Like the game itself can be a bit tricky. And so it's exciting to see that. But we're not here to talk specifically about Wildwoods. I want to talk today about the Storyfold system. So as I mentioned in the blog post, when I first saw Wildwoods, this beautiful kind of picture open up as the designer opened up the book, just like we do in our trailer. And immediately I was like, this is incredible. I got it in front of me, and I started playing it, and I could start to picture all of these different stories being told in this system. And the name Storyfold didn't exist then. It was just Wildwoods. But I believe, internally, some conversations, I don't know who came up with a name. It might have been Taryn, might have been me. But we came up with this name Storyfold that I think beautifully shows what is happening physically in the game, but then also can act as a bit of a banner and a bit of a brand for future projects that fall in the Storyfold system. And when we went to design, Wildwoods, and to really set like, hey, what makes a Storyfold game? Story first, right? We want to make sure that the game mechanics and the art are in service of the story being told. We want it to be easy to learn, meaning that people can play through the prologue and get onboarded into it, because as we mentioned before, complexity, it layers in Storyfold. So one scene to the next scene to the next chapter, these layers are introduced throughout your time playing, which increases the complexity of the game. So story first, easy to learn. We wanted it to be like fun to master, in the sense that like some of the puzzles and kind of things that you're doing are a little bit crunchy, and some of it is like a push your luck at times, but you can definitely plan and mitigate the luck, and be a little bit more conservative. So there's a lot of like fun decisions to make. So we want to make sure that is core, and then atmospheric and engaging. This is why we emphasize beautiful artwork. This is why we make sure that the components are great, that the design decisions are all aimed to really immerse the player in the experience that they have. And so we want to develop out Wildwoods as the first game in the Storyfold system. Now, a lot of this is just, as thinking, dreaming. We're optimistic. We're hopeful that the game is received well. From a reports, people enjoy it, and so the plan is that if people like this game, right? The plan is that if people like this game, that there's going to be more and more that we have an opportunity to create. So you'll notice. Just imagine a whole shelf of different Storyfold games, right? And this is the question I posed on the blog about what types of games, what types of stories do you want to see? What do you want to see told? And somebody in Discord, they mentioned something about the specific story, right? They had played the prologue and first chapter, so they want one focused on Brahm, the bear, which is fun. And another potential story that they would be interested in is a knight or a squire on a quest. I like that idea. You kind of got like a little bit of a Monty Python search, quest for the Holy Grail. Maybe you don't lean into the comedy, but maybe there's something there. A sci-fi setting on exploring a new world. I think so, for sure. I think you could do a lot of fun sci-fi stuff with this type of story. There's so many potentials, and for us, we have some incredible IPs, right, that we've generated and curated over the years. There's Mythwind, Akaria, Stone Saga, some more unannounced titles, and we're looking at hey, it would be so fun to do like a Mythwind story in Storyfold. But we're also dreaming about potentially looking outside. Hey, what does it look like to potentially do IP stories? I think there'd be a lot of fun doing like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or Star Wars. I know these are like the small IPs, right? But there'd be a lot of fun to leaning into those types of stories, and honestly, I believe that once people get their hands on Storyfold, people will be able to. We'll have an open beta during our crowdfunding. We will also have a bunch of copies go out to different content creators and stuff. So you'll be able to get your hands on it. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to experience the game. And it's gonna be special. So that is the kind of elevator pitch of the Storyfold system. We want there to be a real, another hope of ours is that Storyfold really brings like solo gaming, single player gaming. I think even to a broader market. It's really catching on right now, which is great. especially in the board gaming community, as like a different activity, right? Just people read books, they do puzzles, they play video games by themselves, and board games, different tabletop games are starting to get there. And I believe Storyfold has an opportunity to really kind of push the medium even further in the tabletop, in kind of the general, community space, right? People who enjoy playing games, who enjoy stories and narrative and visual storytelling and books, but might not like buy a board game and learn it by themselves. I really do feel that Storyfold can slide in there and really be something special for that type of person. So that is Storyfold in a nutshell. Make sure to go follow the blog. You can comment on what kind of stories that you want to see told there. And until next time, we'll see you.